is newly developed. And that means what? According to teaching, this universe is developed many thousand years ago. It will last 20 eons. This world where we are, globe where we are, it will last 20 eons. Then it will process of the decline or the demolishing, that will take 20 years. The end of that demolishing, it will be completely destroyed by the fire, water, wind. It's completely destroyed. And then it's spread as a sky. And according to the teaching, it will stay in space, like empty space, another 20 eons. Then again, it started forming this spot here. It will take gradually forming, not immediately. A process of the forming perfectly conditioned to livable of the human beings or sentient beings, it will take 20 eons to process. So all together, according to teaching, 80 eons will complete the circle. Birth, in a way, our life, if we say our life, birth, existing, death, and then absence, and then again rebirth. So that means birth, living, death, pardo, and reappearance. Similarly, this earth will do according to teaching that. So even is crumbling, even is like demolishing, all this happening suddenly, that those people, those individuals who are the realization of the true nature, of the origin nature, that person don't have any fears. F-E-A-R, fears. No fears. Because their confidence, realization is so strong. In the Dzogchen teaching, actually said that when you practice meditation in Dzogchen teachings, very beautifully, when you develop, there is full confidence. I'm sure many of you know those, really, full confidence. You have no fears if somebody said, or you see, you're going to fall down on the hell realms. No fears. And when you see hundreds of thousands of the Buddhas, not excited. Or not excited. You're not really hoping to be higher rebirth or anything. Why? Because this individual see everything as a Dharmakaya status. Everything is a Sambhokaya status. Everything is a Nirmakaya status. What that change, anything kind of external display appeared. Even that display itself is a display of the primordial wisdoms. So, for that reason, there is no fears. And then since they have realization of these unattached to the five object sensual pleasures, also not craving of the five sensual pleasure objects, not craving. So that means completely beyond the hopes, expectations. Five sensual pleasure objects, eye pleasure objects, and ear pleasure objects, nose pleasure objects, and tongue pleasure objects, body pleasure objects. Pleasure object. Then, but when you have that craving for the pleasure object, then you have right at next door. Then also fears. Oh, I don't want that. I don't like this. I don't like to see bad things. I don't like to hear bad things. I don't like to unpleasant things, taste it, smell it, or touch it. All those things. There is big kind of like such a right and left, that attitude of the extremes in the mind. When you have this realization, there is none of that. Everything is become as a Dharmakaya, as a Sambhokaya, Trikaya displays. For those reasons, the fearless yogis in the Dzogchen teachings, fearless yogis who has no partiality, discrimination of the perception of the yogis or yoginis. Perception where they see, where they think, they don't make any kind of like any big deals. Big deals. For those reasons, what in the teaching, Buddha's gracious teacher, Buddha Shakyamuni's teaching, Vinaya teaching, those realizations you got, you have you don't see any difference between gold and gold-looking stone. In Tibet, they call it Uma. Gold-looking, looks like gold, doesn't have any difference, really. All is in the enlightened status. And Guru Padmasambhava, there's a story that when you offer the Guru Padmasambhava, like gold by the Tibetan messengers, the king sent messengers, they brought gold offering to Guru Padmasambhava. When they offered the gold, immediately Guru Padmasambhava threw away those in the sky as offerings. And all the messengers feel so bad. All those really precious gold, then Guru Padmasambhava threw away that, kind of killed that in their heart and mind. Immediately Guru Padmasambhava read their mind and asked to hold their towers on the Tibetan Chua loves towers, apron, and filled with the stones and all those on the road, whatever, and filled. Asked to close that short time, and then he asked to open it. When you open it, all those become the gold and gold powders. So that's the way. Reality, nature, there's no restrictions. They can change things. There's so openness, so flexible, so kind of energetic transformation system is just really vibrating according to teaching. Only duality mind is blocking. And modern time scientific, they are exploring those some flexible qualities. That's what so many wonders of the modern science is developed. Because that is actually Buddhism said is reality, it's everything possible. There's so many potentials, so many flexibles, open, no restriction this. Restrictions is the duality creations. So, therefore here, next one is also said, self-arising. Self-arising even is free of the discursive thoughts. And solid form, and as well as five poisons. So that is all explaining quality of this pristine cognition of the ordinary nature of our own awareness and mind. Now when you got that realizations, then the display coming. This is the following, according to great Master Khenpo Tsewang Rinpoche highlighted point, and that is, this is all following display. What display? When you reach the realization of the Buddhahood status, the whole environment is enlightened. Place is enlightened. Everyone is enlightened. Why? Because it is wisdom. Primordial wisdoms. Everything is the primordial wisdoms. For that reason, what is it? Everything is the formation of the kayas and the wisdoms. Everything in that displays. So here, say that when this is the rupa, sit down, how the, for example, Buddha Samyabhadra see everything. This is what is this. Because Buddha Samyabhadra now reach enlightenment. It's Buddha, first Buddha. So every environment is enlightened status. Everything. And so, since radiating clarity awareness is increases, or increasing its sense is not really blocked. Radiating is not blocked. Because this rupa is unblockable, unstoppable. Our own awareness and Kuntuzangpo too. And therefore, then it is now that energy, that quality is begin to reflecting, and those are, then it said, single source, which primordial wisdom, or the ordinary nature kaya, and the fivefold wisdoms. And wisdoms arise, reflected. And those five wisdoms, is actually saying later too. So, my wisdoms are the Dharmadhatu wisdoms, Maryland wisdoms. Many of you already know those names. You all know the names. Dharmadhatu wisdoms, mirror-like wisdoms, equanimity wisdoms, discrimination, awareness wisdoms, and all-accomplishing wisdoms. Those are the 5 wisdoms. These 5 wisdoms, again, we said kind of wisdom, we said that when we think, oh, there's wisdom. But wisdom is completely united with compassion, in kindness, and loving kindness. That is inseparable. So it's not just a bright light or brightness something. It is bright, but it is love and compassion. Immeasurable compassion, immeasurable love. That is the power of the Rupa. Rupa is love. Rupa is a compassion. Rupa is a wisdom. Rupa is a Trikaya, Dharmakaya, Sambhokaya, Namakaya. Is energy, is emanation are also in that status. Love, kindness, compassion. Therefore, this when Dzogchen practitioners, as always the teacher, as much as you got the realization of the Dzogchen, that much the compassion and thoughtful mindfulness, common sense are really developing. It comes together. Not just developing the realization and the common sense is completely behind somewhere far distance. All comes in one package. Become the beautiful beings, beautiful person, humble, simple, really beautiful. You become the beacon of the beings. Light that you can be exemplary for the other beings. So that can be all inherit that same qualities. So that wisdoms. And that wisdom is when expanded. And then